The morning began like any other in the quiet settlement on the edge of the human colony. People walked to work, children played in the narrow streets, and the sky carried the soft blue color of peace. No one knew that everything would soon change. Among these people lived a young boy named Aaron, only 7 years old, with gentle eyes and a shy smile. Aaron lived with his father, a mechanic who fixed small machines for the colony. Aaron did not have many friends, but he never felt alone, because he always walked with two strange animal companions that everyone called pets. One was a small, furry creature named Ludo. It looked like a mix between a fox and a puppy, with bright ears and fast legs. The second was the larger one, a strong dog-like creature named Rakkar. Rakkar had deep golden eyes and a thick coat, and even though it looked like an ordinary dog from afar, its muscles were too strong, its senses too sharp, and its movements too controlled to be normal. Many people whispered that Rakkar came from an alien breed found long ago by human explorers. But no one cared much. People simply said, "It's just a pet." Even Aaron believed that. He had no idea what Rakkar really was. That morning, Aaron walked through the main street with his backpack bouncing behind him. Ludo ran in small circles around him, full of energy, while Rakkar walked quietly at his side. Rakkar always watched everything around them. He noticed every sound, every shadow, every face. But Aaron never understood why Rakkar behaved like this. To him, Rakkar was simply his best friend. A soft wind passed through the settlement, carrying dust and light. People chatted normally, unaware that strange signals were already appearing on distant scanners. At the colony watchtower, two guards studied a sudden shift in the sky. Their screens flickered with unknown readings. Something was approaching fast, but it did not match any known ship. Before the guards could send a warning, the signal vanished, leaving the scanners blank. They believed it was a technical issue. They did not know that this moment was the final warning before disaster. Aaron reached the small school building and sat outside, waiting for the teacher to open the door. Rakkar sat beside him like a silent guardian. Ludo sat on Aaron's lap, licking his hand as if sensing something strange in the air. Aaron laughed softly and hugged it. He did not notice Rakkar's body becoming tense. Rakkar lifted his head slowly, staring at the sky. The sky changed color. At first, it looked like a cloud, but then it began to stretch, darken, and twist into a shape that was not natural. A deep vibration moved through the ground. Birds fled. The wind stopped. Aaron looked up, confused, while the other children laughed lightly, thinking it was some weather change. The vibration grew stronger. A loud crack echoed across the settlement. The dark shape in the sky split open, revealing bright metallic objects. They were machines, tall, armored, and moving with deadly precision. The first one landed in the street with a hard impact that shook the ground. Its glowing blue eyes scanned everything. More machines descended behind it. Screams broke across the colony as people ran for safety. No one knew why these machines were here or what they wanted. The colony had never faced an attack before. The guards tried to fire warning shots, but the machines destroyed the weapons instantly. Buildings shook as explosions erupted in the distance. Dust filled the air. The peaceful morning disappeared in seconds. Aaron froze, terrified. Ludo hid behind him, shaking. Rakkar stepped forward, placing himself between Aaron and the machines. His body lowered into a stance Aaron had never seen before. The gentle pet was gone. Something older, stronger, and far more dangerous had awakened inside him. One of the machines turned toward the children. It scanned, identifying small human bodies. Its right arm shifted, forming a weapon. The teacher shouted for the children to run, but Aaron was too scared to move. The machine raised its arm, ready to fire. Rakkar roared. It was not the bark of a normal dog. It was a deep, powerful sound that echoed like thunder. The machine paused, confused by the sudden reading on its sensors. Before it could respond, Rakar charged forward with unbelievable speed. His body moved like a trained warrior. His paws hit the ground like shockwaves. The machine fired. Rakar jumped high, higher than any normal creature could. The blast passed under him, hitting the school wall and sending debris into the air. Rakar slammed into the machine's metal chest with such force that the machine stumbled back several steps. Sparks flew. Metal twisted. The machine tried to adjust, but Rakar attacked again, his teeth tearing into the exposed wires at its neck. With a sharp crack, the machine fell to the ground. Aaron watched with wide, stunned eyes. He had no idea Rakar could do something like that. None of the people in the colony did. They stared at the fallen machine, unable to believe what they saw. A creature they had always called just a pet had defeated an enemy soldier in seconds. But the danger was only growing. More machines landed. Their metallic feet hit the ground in heavy rhythm. Their glowing eyes locked onto Rakar, scanning him again and again. They did not understand what he was. He did not match any creature in their database. He was not human, not fully animal, not fully alien. He was something else, and he had just become their primary target. Aaron stepped back, holding Ludo tightly. Dust and smoke filled the air as people ran in panic. The machines advanced slowly, weapons recharging. Rakar moved to stand in front of Aaron again. His eyes glowed with fierce determination, and for the first time, Aaron felt something strange. He felt protected. Far above them, the sky filled with more enemy ships. The ground trembled. The battle for the colony had begun, and Aaron's quiet life was gone forever. The boy looked at Rakar, realizing that the creature he loved as a pet was not just a pet. And whatever Rakar really was, he was ready to fight. Smoke covered the colony as people ran through the streets trying to escape the rising chaos. Fires burned in broken buildings, alarms screamed from every direction, and the sky glowed with the light of enemy ships hovering like giant shadows. Aaron held Ludo in his arms, shaking, while Rakar stood in front of him, watching the machines with sharp focus. The machines moved with perfect order, like they were following a plan that no human could understand. But they all had their glowing blue eyes aimed at Rakar now. Rakar's fur bristled, and his body stayed low to the ground. His muscles tightened, ready for another attack. Aaron felt scared, but he also felt something else. Trust. Rakar had saved him once already. He believed Rakar would not let anything happen to him. One of the machines stepped forward, scanning Rakar again. It made a strange metallic sound, as if it was confused. Another machine approached, larger and heavier, built for stronger combat. Its armor looked thicker, and its steps made the ground shake harder than the others. People screamed and ran to different sides, but the machines ignored everyone except Rakar. Aaron's father ran through the smoke, searching for his son. He saw Aaron near the broken school entrance and shouted his name. Aaron looked up, relieved to see his father, but the sound drew the attention of the nearest machine. The machine lifted its arm again, aiming directly at the child and his pet. Before it fired, Rakar moved with explosive speed. He jumped over Aaron and landed between him and the machine just as a bright blue blast shot forward. The energy struck Rakar's side, sending him sliding across the ground. Aaron gasped, thinking Rakar was hurt badly, but Rakar stood again almost instantly. His eyes glowed brighter, almost burning with golden fire. Aaron's father reached them, grabbed the boy, and pulled him close. "We have to run," he said. "Now, Aaron! The colony is under attack! We must reach the bunker!" But Aaron did not want to leave Rakar behind. "He saved me!" Aaron cried. "We can't go without him!" Rakar stepped forward again, slowly this time, as if his body was changing. Something underneath his fur shimmered, like hidden armor responding to danger. No one had ever seen Rakar like this. People around them stared, forgetting their fear for a moment. The creature they had always called a pet no longer looked like one. The larger machine raised its arm, preparing another shot. Before it fired, a sudden loud siren echoed through the colony. A voice came through the speakers near the watchtower, struggling through static. "All civilians move to shelter. The enemy is advanced. Avoid open areas. Repeat, avoid open areas." But most people were already running for shelter. Aaron's father pulled him harder. "We move now!" Before Aaron could reply, a massive explosion erupted near the center of the colony. The shockwave hit the ground with enough force to make everyone fall. Ricard jumped and shielded Aaron with his body, the air filled with dust and broken metal. When the dust cleared, a new group of machines stepped forward, but these looked different. Their armor was black, their design sharper, and their movements faster. Ricard growled deeply, and Aaron felt the vibration through the ground. The black machines scanned Ricard and froze. For the first time since the attack began, the machines hesitated. Their lights flickered as if they recognized something important. Ricard stepped forward with slow, heavy steps. Aaron's father pulled the boy back, but Aaron kept watching, unable to look away. Ricard seemed to understand something the humans did not. The machines spread out, surrounding him. They were not attacking instantly like before. They approached with caution now, like they were facing a trained enemy instead of an animal. Ricard bared his teeth, but this time his teeth glowed faintly, like energy was building inside him. The largest black machine stepped closer, towering over him. It extended an arm, not in attack, but as if scanning Ricard more deeply. A bright beam passed over Ricard's body, reading his shape, bones, and energy. The machine made a metallic sound almost like a voice. Aaron could not understand the sound, but Ricard reacted instantly. His fur stood straight, his muscles tightened. He let out a sharp, angry howl that echoed through the burning colony. The machine opened a compartment on its chest, revealing a glowing red core. It was ready to attack. Ricard charged first. He launched like a missile, his body moving faster than any creature Aran had ever seen. He jumped high, spinning in the air, and struck the black machine's chest with full force. Sparks exploded everywhere. The machine staggered backward and fell to one knee, but it was not destroyed. It reached out to grab Ricard, but Ricard twisted away and bit down on its arm, tearing metal apart. The machine collapsed, sparking violently. But the victory lasted only a moment. Two more black machines attacked at once. Ricard dodged the first, but the second hit him with a heavy strike that sent him sliding back. Ricard stood again, breathing hard, but still ready to fight. Aaron watched with fear and pride. He had never imagined Ricard was capable of such power. The colony around them continued to burn. The machines continued to destroy buildings, but all Aaron could see was Ricard fighting like a warrior. Aaron's father grabbed the boy again. "We can't stay here. Ricard will follow us. We must reach safety." Aaron nodded slowly, tears in his eyes. He called out, "Ricard, come with us!" But Ricard did not move. He kept his eyes on the machines, ready for the next attack. He let out a low growl as Aaron and his father backed away. Suddenly, the machines stopped moving again. All of them turned their heads toward the sky. A deep rumble echoed above. Something massive was descending, something bigger than the machines, bigger than any ship the humans had seen. Aaron looked up and saw a gigantic shadow covering the sky. It was shaped like a massive warship, alien, cold, and terrifying. The machines stepped back as if making room. Ricard's eyes narrowed, his entire body tensed. Whatever was coming for the colony, it was far worse than the machines already on the ground. And Ricard seemed to know exactly what it was. The giant shadow in the sky grew larger, blocking out the sunlight as it descended slowly. The air became heavy, almost difficult to breathe, as if the ship carried something that changed the atmosphere around it. Aaron stood frozen, staring upward with wide eyes. His father held him close, forcing the boy to move back, but Aaron could barely listen. Every sound faded except the humming vibration coming from the huge ship. The machines on the ground suddenly moved in perfect formation. They stepped back from Rakar and formed a wide circle, facing the sky as if waiting for something to arrive. Their blue and red lights flickered in a strange rhythm. They were not acting like simple attackers anymore. They were acting like soldiers preparing to welcome a commander. Rakar watched the sky with a calm but dangerous stare. His tail lowered, his legs spread slightly, and the golden glow in his eyes became brighter. Something inside him recognized the threat. Something deep. Something ancient. Ludo hid behind Aaron's leg, trembling, but Rakar did not tremble at all. He stood tall and ready. The huge alien ship stopped in midair, only a few meters above the tallest buildings. A bright, narrow beam of white-blue light shot downward from its center. The light hit the ground between Rakar and the machines, cracking the stone street and sending dust into the air. Aaron shielded his face with his arm, coughing as the dust blew past him. Then the light changed shape. Slowly, it formed a tall figure, a humanoid shape with long arms, a metallic exoskeleton, and glowing patterns across its body. When the light faded, the creature stood fully visible. It was not like the smaller machines. It looked almost alive. The armor on its body glowed with deep red lines, and its face showed a single vertical light in the center, like an eye. The machines bowed their heads. Aaron felt his heart tighten. He whispered quietly, "Is that their leader?" Rakar growled, a deep, angry sound. The alien leader then turned its glowing eye toward Rakar. It studied him with quiet interest, tilting its head as if examining something extremely rare. The air became even heavier. Rakar's muscles tightened. His golden eyes sharpened. Aaron's father pulled him back again. "Stay behind me," he whispered. "Do not move. Do not draw attention." But the leader was not looking at the humans. It stepped closer to Rakar, its movements slow and controlled. The machines surrounding them shifted, ready to attack the moment the leader commanded it. Rakar did not step back. The leader raised one metallic hand. In its palm, a small sphere of red light formed, spinning slowly. The energy inside it crackled like lightning. A weapon. Rakar crouched lower, ready to leap. Aaron grabbed his father's coat, fear filling his whole body. The leader spoke. It did not speak in human language. It used a deep, distorted sound that vibrated through the ground. Aaron did not understand a word, but Rakar reacted instantly. His ears flattened, his fur bristled, and he growled louder than before. The machines stepped forward, but the leader lifted a hand, stopping them. Rakar barked sharply, but this bark was different. It sounded like a message, not just a warning. Aaron looked up at his father. Do you think Rakar understands them?" His father swallowed hard. "I don't know, Aaron, but it looks like they know him." The leader walked around Rakar slowly, examining him from every angle. Rakar's eyes followed every movement. When the leader stopped in front of him again, it opened a section of its chest. Inside was a symbol that glowed with bright red light. Rakar stared at the symbol, and for a moment, his body froze. His eyes widened slightly. Aaron had never seen Rakar show fear until that moment. The leader extended its arm again, forming another red energy sphere. This one grew larger, humming with stronger power. Rakar bared his teeth. The leader launched the attack. The sphere shot forward like a blazing comet. Rakar leapt to the side, the blast striking the ground and exploding into a bright flash. Rakar jumped onto a wall and pushed off it, attacking the leader with incredible speed. His claws scraped against the alien armor, sending sparks flying, but he could not break through. The leader grabbed Rakar midair with one metallic hand and threw him across the street. Rakar crashed into a broken vehicle, rolling to a stop. Aaron screamed his name, but his father covered his mouth quickly. Rakar stood again. He shook the dust off his fur and stepped forward, but he was slower now. The leader charged another energy sphere, even larger than before. The ground cracked beneath its feet. Suddenly, an explosion burst behind one of the machines. Human soldiers had arrived from the colony bunker. They fired heavy plasma rifles, blasting the machines in the side. For a moment, the machines turned away from Rakkar, confused by the new attack. "Over here! Get the civilians!" one soldier shouted. Aaron's father pulled him tighter. "We must go now!" But Aaron struggled. "Rakkar will die! We can't leave him!" "Aaron," his father said firmly, "Rakkar saved you. Now we must save you too. Rakkar wants you safe. Look at him." Aaron looked. Rakkar met his eyes. For a second, everything stopped. Noise, smoke, fear. Rakkar looked at him with deep golden eyes full of emotion. Then Rakkar turned and charged at the leader again, giving Aaron and his father a chance to escape. Aaron cried, but allowed his father to pull him away. Soldiers shouted orders, guiding people to safety, firing at the machines to push them back. The leader and Rakkar clashed again. Metal and fur blurred together. Sparks and dust filled the air. The leader struck Rakkar with a heavy blow to the side, sending him rolling. Yet Rakkar stood again. The leader stepped forward slowly. It raised its hand for the final strike. Energy glowed brighter than ever, humming with deadly strength. Rakkar growled weakly, struggling to stay on his feet. The machines around them tightened their circle. The soldiers, still far behind, continued firing but could not reach the center in time. Aaron watched from the distance, tears running down his face. The alien leader aimed directly at Rakkar, and Rakkar, wounded and breathing hard, refused to bow. The alien leader stood tall, its arm glowing with bright red energy, ready to strike the final blow. Rakkar's legs trembled, his breathing heavy, but his eyes did not lose their fire. Aaron watched from far behind the soldiers, his small hands gripping his father's arm with painful tightness. His heart felt as if it would break. He wanted to scream for Rakkar to run, to hide, to save himself. But Rakkar did not move. He did not run. He faced the leader with the same courage he had shown since the attack began. The energy in the leader's hand grew louder, vibrating through the cracked street. Suddenly, before the attack could land, a loud explosion shook the entire colony. A wave of dirt and light burst from the western side of the settlement. The ground trembled and dust rose like a storm cloud. Everyone, humans, machines, even the leader, turned their heads. A huge metal wall near the colony's defense area collapsed, revealing a hidden structure beneath it. Blue lights glowed inside the hole, shining through the dust. The soldiers stared in confusion. Aaron's father whispered, That wasn't ours." Rakkar's ears lifted. He recognized the sound, the energy, the strange blue signature. Something old, something connected to him. The leader froze. Its single glowing eye widened slightly, as if surprised. It lowered its arm slowly, turning fully toward the blue light. The machines followed its movement, shifting again, forming a new formation. Inside the hole, something large began to move. The ground shook again as a long metallic shape pushed through the broken wall. A huge cylinder, ancient, rusted, covered in alien markings, rose upward. The markings glowed blue, brighter and brighter. The air became thick with strange humming energy. Aaron stepped forward instinctively, unable to look away. "What is that?" a soldier breathed. Aaron's father shook his head. "I don't know. I've never seen anything like it." Rakkar took a few steps toward the ancient object. His golden eyes reflected the blue light. The leader noticed and blocked his path with one arm, almost as if warning him to stay back. But Rakkar did not stop. The ancient cylinder split open. A massive pillar of blue light shot into the sky, cutting through the smoke. Strange symbols danced inside the light, moving like living sparks. The machines stepped backward, reacting for the first time with something like fear. The leader's red glow dimmed, and then a deep voice echoed across the colony. It was not human. It was not machine. It came from the ancient object itself. The voice vibrated through every stone, every wall, every body. The machine's lights flickered. The soldiers felt their weapons shake in their hands. Aaron felt the voice inside his bones. The voice spoke in a language no human understood, but Rakkar understood. Rakkar lowered his head slowly, not in fear, but in recognition. His entire body relaxed for a moment, then tensed even more than before. The golden light inside him grew brighter, shining through his fur like fire underneath his skin. Aaron whispered, "Rakkar, what are you?" The alien leader moved toward the ancient object, but before it could approach, the ground cracked beneath Rakkar. Blue veins of energy shot out from where he stood, spreading across the street. The leader stepped back in shock. The machines faltered. Soldiers aimed their weapons, unsure if the glowing energy was friend or foe. Rakkar's body began to change, not in shape, but in presence. The golden glow pulsed like a heartbeat. His fur lifted as if charged with electricity. His eyes burned with fierce light, and a low hum came from deep inside him. The ancient object spoke again. Rakkar responded with a long, powerful howl. The leader let out a harsh, metallic sound. It raised its arms, preparing to strike both Rakkar and the ancient object at once. Rakkar jumped. He moved faster than ever before, a streak of golden light crossing the ground. He struck the leader in the chest with full force, pushing it back several steps. Sparks rained everywhere. The leader punched Rakkar with tremendous strength, sending him crashing into the broken street. But Rakkar stood again immediately. Blue light wrapped around his legs like threads of energy. The machines attacked at once. They fired blue blasts, red blasts, metal projectiles, everything they had. Rakkar dodged some, absorbed others, and leapt through the lines of machines with violent grace. Each time he struck, machines fell, but for every machine he destroyed, more stepped forward. The leader watched Rakkar with growing frustration. It attacked again, aiming for Rakkar's head. Rakkar ducked and bit the leader's arm, tearing off a chunk of metal. The leader screamed, a metallic, painful screech. But Rakkar was weakening. The blasts, the hits, the exhaustion, they were adding up. Aaron could see it. His heart tightened with fear. Rakkar struggled to breathe. His steps grew unsteady. The blue energy around him flickered. Aaron broke free from his father and ran forward. "Rakkar!" he shouted. Soldiers reached out to grab him, but he slipped through them. He ran past broken walls, crushed machines, fires burning everywhere. He ran until he reached the open street where Rakkar fought. The leader saw Aaron. It raised its arm toward the boy. Rakkar reacted instantly. He jumped in front of Aaron, shielding him once more. The leader released a blast meant to kill. Rakkar took the full hit on his back. The explosion knocked him down and he slid across the ground. Aaron fell to his knees beside him. "Rakkar, get up! Please get up!" Rakkar lifted his head weakly. His golden eyes dimmed, then brightened again as he saw Aaron safe. He pushed himself up with shaky legs, standing between Aaron and the leader. The leader walked forward slowly. Its glowing red eye watched Rakkar, not Aaron. It raised its arm again, forming a final, powerful strike, more powerful than anything before. Rakkar stood tall, even on trembling legs. The ancient object behind them suddenly roared with blue light. A massive wave of energy shot across the ground, lifting dust and debris into the air. The leader stopped, shocked. Rakkar's eyes glowed bright gold, and something inside him awakened fully. The ancient object roared again, brighter than before, filling the entire colony with blue light that shimmered like lightning trapped inside glass. The machines froze. Their lights flickered rapidly, confused by the massive wave of energy spreading outward. Even the alien leader stopped moving for a moment, its red glow shaking unevenly. The energy hit Rakkar's body like a living force, and the golden light inside him exploded into brilliant flames of color. His fur shone with gold and blue together, swirling like fire and water mixing in the same space. Aaron stared with wide eyes. He felt the heat from the blast, but it did not hurt him. The energy moved around him like it knew he was not an enemy. Aaron's father shouted for him from the distance, panic rising in his voice, but Aaron could not move, could not look away. Rakhar stood taller than before. His breathing slowed, becoming steady and powerful, almost like he had drawn strength from the ancient object itself. The cracks in the ground glowed blue under his paws. Rakhar turned his head slowly, looking at Aaron first. His golden blue eyes were calm, full of strength, and full of something deeper. A promise. Aaron whispered, "Rakhar, you're not just a pet, are you?" Rakhar lowered his head gently for a moment, as if giving the boy a soft answer without words. Then he turned toward the alien leader once more. The leader raised its arm again, charging a deadly red blast. The energy grew heavier in the air, pulling dust and metal fragments upward. But this time Rakhar did not wait. He dashed forward with speed so fast that Aaron saw only streaks of gold and blue. Rakhar struck the leader before the blast fired, slamming into its armored chest with unbelievable force. The impact sent the leader crashing into a broken wall, shattering stone and metal. The machines reacted instantly, moving to protect their leader. They charged at Rakhar from all sides, firing blasts and swinging metallic arms. But Rakhar moved like a creature awakened from a deep sleep, faster, stronger, sharper. He jumped through the air, tearing through machines in single strikes. He avoided deadly blasts by inches, sliding across the cracked street with energy glowing around his paws. His movements were a mix of instinct and training, something too complex for any ordinary animal. Soldiers watching from a distance stood speechless. Some lowered their weapons without meaning to. One soldier whispered, "What? What is that creature? It fights like it was born for war." Another replied softly, "It's protecting the boy. It understands." The leader pushed itself out of the rubble, armor cracked and glowing with red sparks. It looked at Rakhar with something close to anger. The single glowing eye on its face dimmed and brightened again, like it was recalibrating. It raised both arms this time. Red energy gathered around its body in a swirling storm. The machines stepped back. They knew what was coming. Rakhar growled low. He stepped forward, refusing to retreat. Aaron felt tears wetting his cheeks. He wanted to run to Rakhar, to help, to do anything, but he was powerless. The leader unleashed the energy. A massive red wave shot outward, destroying everything in its path. Buildings collapsed, metal melted, the street cracked in long lines. Rakhar pushed Aaron behind a large metal slab, shielding him from debris with his body. Then Rakhar jumped directly into the wave, using all the energy inside him to push back against it. Gold and blue energy exploded around Rakhar, forming a shield that clashed against the red wave. The two forces met in the center of the street, sending sparks of red and blue in every direction. The ground shook violently, and a loud ringing filled the air. Aaron covered his ears, watching helplessly as Rakhar struggled to push forward. The leader increased its power. The red wave thickened, and Rakhar's shield flickered for a second. The machines stepped forward again, ready to finish the fight. Rakhar roared, a powerful, ancient sound that silenced everything for a moment. The blue light from the ancient object poured into him again, giving him strength. His shield grew brighter. He pushed forward, step by heavy step, forcing the red wave backward. The leader's red core flickered, struggling to maintain control. Rakhar jumped through the dying wave and slammed into the leader again, this time knocking it flat onto the ground. He bit into the leader's arm, ripping out glowing wires. The leader punched Rakhar, sending him rolling, but Rakhar landed on his feet, charging back immediately. Both forces collided again and again, striking, dodging, tearing, exploding with energy. Aaron's father finally reached him and pulled him into his arms. "We need to go! Aaron, please!" Aaron shook his head desperately. "No! Rakkar needs me!" His father looked at the battle. Rakkar and the leader moved like blurred shadows, faster than anything he had ever seen. "Aaron, none of us can help him right now." Aaron cried quietly, but stayed where he was, watching the battle with a heart full of fear and love. The leader grew desperate. Its armor cracked even more, exposing glowing circuits beneath. It released a deafening metallic roar and attacked with both arms, firing red blasts wildly. Rakkar dodged most of them, but one hit his side and sent him sliding across the ground. He struggled up but was slower now. His golden blue light flickered weakly. The leader charged forward for the final strike. Rakkar collapsed to one knee. Aran screamed, "Rakkar, get up, please!" The leader raised its arm high, forming a massive red blade of energy. Rakkar looked at Aran. Even in pain, even on shaking legs, he found the strength to stand again. He lifted his head, eyes glowing softly. The blue energy from the ancient object pulsed again, one final time. Rakkar's body filled with brilliant light. The leader swung its blade down. Rakkar charged straight toward it with everything he had left. The entire colony glowed bright blue, and the world exploded into light. The world glowed bright blue, filling every corner of the colony with blinding light. For several seconds, no one could see anything. Not the machines, not the buildings, not even the sky. All shapes vanished inside a storm of glowing energy that hummed like a living heartbeat. Aaron clutched his father tightly, terrified Rakkar had disappeared inside the light forever. The ground trembled, and a huge shockwave rushed across the colony. It lifted dust, broken metal, and pieces of buildings high into the air before dropping them far away. Windows shattered. Fires hissed out. The machines froze mid-step, their lights flickering and dying one by one. Then the blue glow slowly faded. When Aaron's vision returned, he gasped. The entire battlefield had changed. The machines stood motionless, sparks running down their bodies. Some collapsed entirely. Others remained standing but dead inside. The alien leader was nowhere to be seen at first. Only broken pieces of red glowing metal scattered across the cracked ground. And in the middle of everything lay Rakkar. His body rested on the ground, smoke rising from his fur. His golden blue light had dimmed almost completely. Aaron's heart dropped. He broke free from his father's arms and ran toward him, ignoring the soldiers calling his name. Aaron fell to his knees beside Rakkar and touched his fur gently. It was warm, but weakly so. Rakkar lifted his head slightly, his eyes half open, glowing faintly like the last light of sunset. Aaron's voice broke. "Rakkar, please wake up. Please." Rakkar blinked slowly. He gently pressed his head into Aaron's hand as if to say he heard him. His breathing was slow and rough. Aaron placed both hands on Rakkar's face, tears falling onto his nose. "You saved me," Aaron whispered. "You saved all of us." Rakkar's eyes closed for a moment, then opened again. He stared at Aaron with deep, warm emotion, love, loyalty, and something older, something that held stories no human could ever know. The ancient device in the destroyed wall crackled weakly. Blue sparks flickered around its cracked shell. Aaron looked up at it for a moment, then turned back to Rakkar. Soldiers approached slowly, quiet and respectful. None of them wanted to interrupt the moment. They had all seen Rakkar's bravery. They had watched him destroy machines that humans couldn't. They had watched him fight a creature far more powerful than any human soldier. Aaron's father knelt beside his son. He placed a gentle hand on Aaron's shoulder. "He protected you because he chose to. He is more than we ever understood." Aaron nodded while wiping tears from his face. "He is my friend." Rakkar breathed out softly, almost like a sigh. The air around him shimmered with fading blue light. The soldiers looked at one another. Some believed he was dying. Some believed he was transforming. No one knew for sure. Aaron hugged Rakar tightly. "Don't leave, please don't leave!" Suddenly, the ancient device spoke again. Not as loudly as before, but still clear enough that everyone heard it. The voice echoed across the ruined street like wind through a deep cave. Rakar's light flickered in response. Aaron looked up at the device, confused. "Is it calling him?" Aaron's father shook his head slowly. "I think it's recognizing him." The ancient device released a soft wave of blue energy, but it was gentle this time, like a warm breeze moving across the ground. The energy touched Rakar's fur, making it glow faintly again. Rakar opened his eyes wider. The blue and gold light returned, softer but steady. He looked at Aaron again, and Aaron felt hope rise in his chest. "You're still here," Aaron whispered. "You're still fighting." The energy flowed around Rakar, lifting small pieces of dust and broken stone. His wounds started glowing faint blue, as if his body was repairing itself. The soldiers stepped back in awe. Aaron's father held his breath. The ancient device spoke one last time, a single deep tone that seemed to say a farewell or a command. When the sound faded, the blue energy around Rakar slowly dissolved. Rakar lifted his head higher. His breathing grew stronger. He pushed himself up on shaky legs. Aaron gasped with joy. "Rakar, you're alive!" Rakar stood fully now, tall and proud once more. His fur was damaged, his body tired, but his eyes shone with warm golden fire again. Aaron hugged him, and this time Rakar gently wrapped his head around the boy protectively. The soldiers around them lowered their weapons and began to cheer quietly, some smiling for the first time since the attack began. More colony residents stepped out from hiding places, shocked at the destruction, but alive. Mothers hugged their children. Workers helped injured neighbors. Soldiers reported to each other that the machines had completely shut down. The alien leader's broken parts sparked one last time before fading into silence forever. Aaron's father stood and looked around. "The attack, it's over." The commander of the colony defense approached Rakar and Aaron. He stared at Rakar for a long moment, then nodded respectfully. "This creature saved us all. Whatever he is, he fought like no warrior I've ever seen." Aaron looked up proudly. "He's not just a creature. He's family." Rakar lowered his head slightly as if accepting the words. The commander smiled softly. "Then your family just saved the entire colony." Cleanup teams began moving through the streets. The fires were put out. The machines were examined but remained dead. The ancient device, now silent, stood like a guardian from a forgotten age. Aaron walked beside Rakar, holding his fur, refusing to let go. His father walked on the other side, guiding them carefully through the ruined streets toward safety. Aaron looked up at Rakar again. "Why did you hide your power? Why did you stay with me?" Rakar looked at him with a warm expression. He leaned down and pressed his head gently against Aaron's chest. Aaron smiled, finally understanding. "You stayed because you chose me," he whispered. Rakar barked softly, a gentle, loving sound. The colony would rebuild. The machines were gone. The people were safe. And the story of the creature once called only a pet would be remembered forever. Rakar walked proudly beside Aaron as the sun rose above the broken colony, shining new light on a new future, one protected by a warrior who fought not for glory, but for love.